Well, hello again. Here we are back in the land of bots. Um, I've been playing a little bit. Where am I at, anyways? I was getting my butt kicked. Uh, I guess so. Not bad, not great. I would like to get over 6K. We'll see if we can do that in the next day or so. Really depends on how much I end up putting in time wise. Have made some minor changes to the hanger. I do now have a couple of these running. I'm just playing around. I really don't know. I was running like the blaze weapons on them, right? I did have the Elox and the Murex on there. And that was okay, and I did the Elox and the Murex with this thing. So now I'm playing around with this because of the Titan charge. So, don't know if you're aware, but they nerfed the Tesla weapons. Oh no! Yeah, they said that they were charging the Titans too fast. I don't know. I don't know that if I think that they were actually charging the Titans too fast, or if they just wanted a new set of weapons to be the Titan Chargers. Here's the thing, though. I mean, what this really means now is they're now the second fastest Titan weapons to charge a Titan in the game. They were the first fastest. And it is still very possible, although it takes much more work. You have to have more luck on your side because what the real difference is that these weapons are going to single target. So every target you beat down, it really bumps up the charge very quickly. Makes me wonder after they go through their first nurse if that will still be the case. Um, so if you're doing single targets, yes, absolutely, they will they will outperform the Tesla weapons now. However, if you can get into a situation where you are fighting two or three opponents, all in the 50 to less than 100-meter range, and you can Tesla them, then this will charge still very fast. In that particular situation, if you can stay alive and you can charge up against two or three targets at a time, you can still charge this thing, charge your Titan with this thing in around a minute. Now, if you were like me, where around a minute was your fast one, and not the 40-second charge, um, then you're probably looking at about a minute and a half on your fast one. Okay. Uh, if it was 2 minutes on average, you might be out to 2.5 minutes. And that's kind of stretching it, right? That assumes there's a lot of running around. And realistically, though, if you go back to this, even though at its peak you're looking at 40-second territory, right? And everything works out at its best to charge the Titan. Realistically, though, you're back up to this is your minute charge, to minute and a half to 2 minutes on average. It depends on how accessible the opponents are. Sometimes you spend fair amount of time kind of trying to get into position, or you have a battle and then you got to get into position again, and not everything is just stacked up one after another. On other times, yes, stack, 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 it goes very, very fast. And that will be the majority of the time, actually, because of the layout of the maps. So I've got this. I did play around with this. Briefly, I dropped it into a couple matches. It's painfully slow firing, right? But I wanted to just see because this does grade damage specifically, and I was hoping at some point in time I could test it out against another Amit. But most of the time I'll either drop a true mid range like this, or I'll drop this to try to take the center. I do still drop this for some long range maps, and this is still good if I need to back up and if for some reason I go down really quickly. I can still, if I really want to try to flush out that Titan charge, I can still fall back to that. Outside of that, I finally did get this one up to speed. It's amazing how much memoriam you can burn through trying to level up pilots, and not only trying to level them up, but to get the things you want. Because then every time you do that, you're making a 750 memoriam spend on it, and then you still have your leveling spend. So each one of these, unless you get lucky and you get it on the rando, it's fairly expensive to get it up as far as that goes. So I finally got that up there. I did move this around and this around because I'm playing with this. Because this isn't like a primary drop for me, so yeah, I'm just playing with it. And which means these two went to the Terrans, although seems redundant. Again, for giggles, I don't really use it much, but something to try. Again, don't use this enough for me to really think whatever I put on here matters, but throw those on, what the heck. This one here, I threw these on because why not? This isn't for fighting. This is for running, desperately trying to stay alive and run some beacons at the end. You're really not expecting much combat, and if you do, it's against somebody that's very, very weak. At least at this point, because even with, although I suppose if I ever get leftover hippo weapons or whatever they are, I could go that route. I was looking at the new bot and the new weapons that'll come out with it, and I'm thinking those are going to be pretty fun. That's actually, those new weapons are actually what I think I want to put on here. And then not sure how I will do with the new bot. I'm sure I'll end up with one or two along the way, but it seems kind of fragile, and I'm a little more tanky, but at the same time though too, I don't know. It could be hard to hit for a while until they drop the counter you have to pay for. Right? So what to do? I don't know. It seems like the favorite one that I end up running most of the time for squads, or what seems to work out the best, is Dom. But it seems like at the same time too, the one that I end up liking the most solo is he certainly went fast, didn't he? Wanted that spot. Is Beacon Rush. So who knows? You know, this is, I haven't really played this build too much, so it's kind of getting used to it a little bit, right? Uh-oh. Well, I think this will be my first. I don't really. Oh no, I've done it once before. Oh, bad timing there, huh? There's one bot for the run, right? Yeah. That's always a good telltale of whether or not you're you've got your bot figured out. Some bots are easier to figure out, obviously. Um, hmm You know what I want on here is I would love to get my hands on 3 ultimate scatters when they come out for this. Just like I want the new weapons for this. I think that would be pretty hot. I'd love to have 5 of them so I could have 2 different things totally decked out. But that's just crazy talk. If I can get 2 of them, I'll be happy. In which case, not sure what I'll put them on. I mean, this seems fairly decent. I like having something that fires kind of steadily along the way like that, but I don't know. I can stick the croc on there too, but we'll see. And the reason for that is because I think then when I run into things with shields, it helps take the shields down so that I get a better chance of getting that in. Because for me, it's inconvenient to do left-right firing or single one firing. Yeah, you can do the right mouse button and the number keys, but then I have to take my hands off the directional keys or my fingers off the directional keys and reset, and I don't like that. So I tend to try to figure out a way to do it where I can just keep firing. Unless I want to get to a full-fledged rotation and just keep the rotation going, and then I set up the rotation using the number keys and I just keep holding the button down. But that's just not what I'm trying to do here. So mostly here it's because I've seen these things get totally blocked by shields. The point where you're like, he has a sliver of shield left, and it hits him, and it's like, oh, total blockage. Well, I've heard, that there's other weapons that are similar, but a lot of weapons aren't, because, they fire like a stream or what have you, and so at that point, then, yeah, no, they're not impacted the same way because it's not a single blast like that. You know what I mean? Look at him go. I don't know, was it worth it? So you keep working on them. There we go. Mm-hmm. Oh. All right. We'll see if I just got lucky on this one or not. Yeah? Wow. I don't think I've had quite a run with this much success before, but you know what? I didn't have this build on. I tried a bunch of other builds. And I kind of like the mix of having the Havoc in there so I can keep doing damage, and you know, that's a nice high damage item. Not bad, not bad. I wish I had 3 of the Royals on there instead of just 1 of the Royal Hippos, but I can't complain. Yeah, I used to do this all the time when I was primarily a solo or as one-bot runs, because I didn't worry about dropping the Titan, because I didn't really care about honor points or whatever, right? I think that's what goes towards clan rank, right? Honor points. Damage to enemy, corporation bonus, Titan. And I think there is dropping a Titan, but I don't think I get anything. You're going to see it listed here because I didn't drop my Titan. But I think there is also some points for dropping a Titan. And then these points go towards determining clan rank, I think. I think maybe even league. I'm wondering if I would have dropped the Titan, if I would have and still came in first, if I would have gotten 15 points. Because there are times when I've gotten 15 points for a win. But I guess I really haven't paid that much attention. I did drop this once on Canyon. Because, you know, ranged. And that's what I'm just kind of sitting on it because I really want to put like the new weapons on it and use it as a mid-range, for mid-range and brawling on longer maps. We'll see though. It looks like the new bot and new weapons pretty much rip through omets once their shields down. So should be interesting to see how that plays out. The ever-changing meta. Alright, so everybody's on. Uh-oh. Looks like I've got the bulk of their attention, huh? You know, you're in with a tough group when they start dropping the ultimate nodes, right? You're like, yeah, this is not a good crowd. Uh-oh. I think that sword's got me. Oh, can't believe he didn't have me. All right. Too many of them. I don't know what my team's doing, but they're not fighting back. Oh, well. You know, it's tough, though. Not many people seem to have the Princeps, and not many people seem to have the Nodens. I knew I was in trouble as soon as I saw the ultimate Nodens drop. The question is were these people in a squad, or did they just get lucky in having all the top stuff? Right? Let's just waste some time here. Because there's obviously no way to win this. Uh-oh. Ah, well. I was hoping nobody would drop anything real fast. You know, that's all that bot's good for. And it's, because anybody who runs around with it from the beginning of the game, they might get a high beacon count, but it's usually it's not enough to win the game because eventually they just turn around and end up killing you. See, even before that, just with what I had out there before, I had enough. Yeah, that's what I figured. There was no way. Run into a 3-man like that. What are you gonna do? I don't really like that. I don't need to have porn crap in my game. I don't care what it is. I'm not interested. See though, now you can see where if I had been in a squad and with 2 other guys equipped like me, we would have been able to put up a fight against those guys. You know, we would have had a Nodens, we would have had a couple of better Titans out there. I think only one guy even dropped their Titan, right? So on my side, aside from me, I didn't have anybody else to link to when I was looking around. It was all just bots. They didn't drop anything. So, no matter how you slice it, too, the longer it takes you to drop the Titan, the more of a challenge it's going to be for you as you move up. Not saying you have to drop it fast. I'm just saying if you can't drop it, I mean, if you can't just turn around and drop it when it needs to be dropped, then that's when it's going to start to get to be a challenge. See this map here? I hate this map. Which guarantees that I'll see more of it than I want to. All I'm really hoping for right now is that I can get to a kind of a place of safety. Right? Where I have a little bit of ability to move, a little bit of cover. I'm trying to work on my mid-range game. See if we can get it charged up a little bit here. We need to get the amp charged. Someone took him out nice and easy like. Uh-oh. Hit that blind. Always nice to get rid of those when possible, right? See if I can get out of here now. Dang, look at that. Just a barrage of booms. Boom shakalaka laka, boom shakalaka laka. Okay, I lost my companion over here, so we're gonna fall back. Try to let my shield go a little bit so I can take a hit as I run. Yeah, you know, we're all holding ground good now, right? What we got going here? Yeah. Always good to get rid of those types. And always good to fall back. Don't get yourself caught in a bad spot, you know? See, and I like a good mid-range brawler, right? I wouldn't mind another ultimate Typhon. Mm-hmm. Guys surprised me. I didn't realize somebody was sneaking up on me like that. What do we got here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe we'll get around the corner in time. Ah! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He loves me. How did, really? Oh, man. Look at my team. We got... Been doing all that, and my team's been letting these people come in the back? Just take everything? The heck? Oh, man. I don't care if you get me at this point, bud. What are we all huddled back here for? Ugh. Three beacons is not enough, boys. There we go. Perfect. Holy cow. Well, you gotta like a good tight game though, right? Yeah, I know I haven't been talking that much, but you know, the games have been some good matches, right? So I've had to pay a little more attention than before. Although the one that I could talk a little more on was the one where we got our butts kicked. Yeah, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot of concentration to get your butt kicked. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. So yeah, I would like to set this up here as a second mid-range brawler. So then I would have that and this. Couple close quarters brawlers and a runner. And then we'll have to see what the new bot brings. You know, it's interesting how things cycle because it wasn't too long ago that this guy here and this guy here had different weapons on them, and they were up here in hangar number 1. Primary drops. Now look at them. Oh, back of the bus. Yeah. It is the nature of things. And as it is right now, you can see, you know, because of what they've put out there, just how other things are shifting around a little bit. There are things, you know, obviously things that are still main, but there's still like a foundational few that are out there. I do enjoy the Typhon. I debate whether or not I should level up the Wasps. A lot of people seem to like those, but you know, I like these Hussars. They seem to be okay. You know, maybe not as perfect as the other items, but I like them. And you know, it's so expensive to level up those other things that you know I kind of tend to look at it and say, you know, I want to be a little more selective if I don't know that I'm going to use them. And I hate making a bad decision like I did with the Molots, where it's like, you know, I thought those might be more functional than they are, but they don't. They suck. Seems to be the spot I usually find myself in, is then I end up Oh, I really got ganged up on, huh? Yep. How many of them were there? 4 of them? Holy cow. Wow, just go hide. Ah, yes. Again, no surprises. If you looked at how my team was playing, they weren't able to really do much. So I accept that. Don't have a choice, right? ah, ah. You know, I mean, bottom 3 guys never get anything other than the home beacon. Didn't do shite. Look at their bottom 3 guys. Take away the home beacon. What did their bottom 3 guys get? 12. Our bottom 3 guys got 0. There it is. Because then their top guys were up there with us, right? Or better. Why? Because we didn't have anybody else really helping us. How am I doing anyways? Where am I at? Oh, 5,900. Nice. Up a few points. Up a few points. Down a couple percent for the old Winus Ratus. Let's see if we can end on a good note instead of yeah. I've been having a real good time lately. I had a water pipe in the. This is an older building, and the heating is done through radiators down along the floorboards, and had one burst in the apartment. Literally had a fountain in the apartment. You know, the poor lady downstairs. A lot of this went through the subfloor. By the time they got the water shut off, and you know, she just ended up with her whole ceiling for her living room is going to pretty much have to be replaced. So that's what it comes down to. I don't think we're going to win this one. Because look at my team. I don't know where's my team? Do they exist? Right? Do they exist? I don't know where they are. You know, I think they're letting themselves just get walked all over. See, and that's why I like having the Sonics on there, because there's a fair amount of times when it's nice to be able to keep pounding for a little in between things. You know what I'm saying? Like this. Why am I always getting ganged up on? Why aren't those guys getting ganged up on? Right? I might go down here because I got emped right away. And imps are bad. Oh, I got empty again. Good. Where'd he go? Huh. Anybody see him? Mm-hmm. Oh, didn't get the last one. Wow, I thought we were going to lose that one for a little bit. Kind of managed to, we kind of managed to pull that one out of our butts. Holy, holy. Because it wasn't look good for a while there. I thought I was going down to those atlases. I got emped for a while, and I thought I was toast. Um, oh, and there you go. We probably would have lost if they weren't down a man. Although this guy didn't do much, but still. And this didn't help. These two didn't do any beacons. They, I mean, you know, they did damage, but they didn't do any beacons, and they needed beacons. You know, on that note, I am going to call it for right now. Oh, what I was saying before, yeah, no. So I have insurance adjuster coming out on Tuesday. I think they've taken down half her ceiling right now, just as a precautionary. Because I was told that the last time they had in this building a leak like that, and it went down to the subfloor, and the person below ceiling went like that, is that the ceilings are basically like um, drywall, right? And so what it was is that it soaked in, right, and then it pooled, and then eventually it made the drywall soft, right? But it made it soft around the nails, and the ceiling actually fell at one point. So as a preemptive thing for the lady down below, for that woman, they took down chunks of her ceiling already. So I have an adjuster coming out on Tuesday, and we'll see what this all comes to. I mean, I think even with my deductible, I'm still looking at, because the insurance company looks at it as, you know, I have my claim for the damage up here, and she has a claim. It's two separate claims, in which case then I would be billed, I think, $2,500 total, $1,250 per claim to meet the deductible. It's a bummer. Last thing that I needed right now. But you know, that's the way of things, right? That's the nature of life. Is you just have to deal with the nonsense sometimes. You know, the thing about it is you know, I like I've told you before, you know, I take care of my mother, and because you know, she's got cancer. And the thing about it is you know, obviously it hasn't gotten better; it's gotten worse. And you know, the telltale sign. I mean, probably there is a sign, of course. You know, she's got a cat, but you know, it's not that much concern because I'll take the cat. I'm allergic to cats, but you know, I would never give her up at this point. But you know, you go beyond that and you say, oh, okay, what are the warning signs? Fatigue, or tiredness, or discomfort, or what have you? No, no, not for me. That's not what the real telltale sign of where she's at is. Um, Bless her heart. But you know, I don't know if anyone listening is familiar with Native American culture at all. But you know, for men we have our ribbon shirts. For women they have their ribbon dresses, and that's kind of like the Sunday best, right? You'll see a guy in his ribbon shirt. He'll still have like jeans and tennis shoes on, but because nobody's got any money, so that is their fancy stuff. Um, and the ribbon dress, and so like it's worn for like ceremonies and attending powwows if you're not a participant. Um, when you want to dress up a little bit, right? And so one of the things is that one of the things that she used to do on the regular is go to moon ceremonies. Now those are only for women, but she'd put on her ribbon dress and go participate every month. She gave away her ribbon dresses. A lot of things can tell you a lot of things. But there are those specific items. Well, some things tell a larger story than others. At any rate, that is the state of things. It's tough out there. Take care of yourselves.